I don't blame Pakistani men. I don't blame Muslims. I don't blame black people. I don't blame Africans, because I know lots of those people who are not nutcases and rapists and killers. My argument is it's mass immigration. You know, in there, I talked about it yesterday. You know, we had I think it was either Polish or Albanian, someone said it was an Albanian woman, a couple of years ago, stabbed a 6-year-old girl to death in a park. Stranger walked up to her and just pulled a knife out and stabbed her to death. She got sectioned. She's going to do life now in a mental institution. She was Albanian or Polish. We've got Polish people committing crime. We had a French guy about 10 years ago in a park in, I think it was Disby or Wivington in Manchester, masturbating in front of children, got arrested, got a slap on the wrist. And when I criticised him online saying he should at least be deported, he's a white French guy, I got criticised by a reporter in the Manchester Evening News, basically saying I was racist for one. And I'm saying I want all foreign sex offenders deported.
Yeah.
He's a white French guy. Yeah, he signed a sex register, but I don't want him here anymore now. Deport him. So this has been going on a long time. This isn't about your religion. It's not about your colour. It's not about the country you come from. This is about importing people we don't want into this country, mainly from the third world, but some it's not the third world, like France. But it's about allowing anyone to come here, and once they're here, we can't deport them. We had an Iranian guy a couple of months ago in the news, convicted of rape in this country. We can't deport him. Why? Human rights. Iranians treat rapists really poorly. Well, so they fucking should. And so should we. And we can't deport him because Iranians treat rapists poorly.
Yeah.
This is the mess we're in. It's got nothing to do with religion, race, ethnicity, where you're from. I don't care where you're from. I want less people moving here. I want no people moving here, to be fair. And people who are not British citizens, I want them deported for almost any crime they commit.
So it's an interesting point, and we talked about Calvin Robinson a couple of weeks ago, who's basically now his position is all Pakistani Muslims.
Foreign born.
No, he didn't say that.
That's what he means.
I watched it again because we talked about it.
He must mean...
So he said all Pakistani Muslims should be sent back to Pakistan.
Yeah.
Let's assume that the riots, and once again I'll say the riots in Southport, I understand fully why they happened.
I know why they happened.
And I'm not going to condemn them. I'm not going to condemn them. Let's assume that starts to proliferate now. More right. I think violence is here. This is what you said.
Yeah.
This happens. Things start to happen. There's violence or whatever, to the point where the government starts to notice and realise it has to take action, which I think is potentially where this could be heading.
Yeah, I agree.
What can the government do? A government that's actually stops gaslighting everybody, stops bullshitting, actually accepts the reality of what's happening, as we are seeing in other countries now. We're seeing it now in Germany, Holland, even in France. It's starting to happen now. A government that recognises as a problem, what can it possibly do now? I mean, as you said, we've had 10 million people in the past, what was it, 5 years or something?
10 years.
10 years. 10 million
10, 15 years, I think.
1.2 million net immigration last year.
And 1.1 million the year before.
And 1.1. So there's more people apparently in a decade than in...
Ever.
In terms of immigration. What's the answer? How do we fix this?
No one's going to touch this for years. So we have got years of this. The politicians we have at the moment are not capable of addressing this or fixing this, because this is what they do and how they view the world is normal. So what we need is a new generation of politics and politicians coming through. They may be able to tackle this. It's going to be extremely difficult. It's going to be extremely painful. It starts with mass deportation. It starts with, on day one, you say, the new administration, anybody here illegally is deported. We're going to round you all up, put you in camps, and we're going to get you out of here as quick as those planes can be fueled. And those planes will be running 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And we're going to deport 1 million people. They reckon there's like 2, 3, 4 million people here illegally.
On top of the 10 million that have come in the past 10 years.
And the reason why we know that, can't remember the exact figure, it was definitely a couple of million. The reason why we know those figures is based on London. So London Water Company has done research about how much waste they're dealing with, and they're saying there's 2 million people living in London that we don't know about. Supermarkets in London, when you analyse their sales, work out there's millions of people living in London that no one knows about because we're selling far too much bread, far too much pasta, far too much rice. So all these things have been looked at. This is all in the press if you do a bit of research. This isn't me making up.
Yeah.
It's all out there.
Yeah.
So there's millions of people who we don't know are living here.
So they compare the census to the actual waste produced.
Yes.
And they know, there's 3 million more people than they thought, yeah.
So we need mass deportation of everyone here illegally. And in that I also include asylum seekers and refugees. We need to pull out the Convention of Refugees and Asylum Seekers and we say no more. What we're going to do now is if there's a war in, let's use European country, there's a war in Spain, civil war in Spain, they're killing each other with chorizo sausages.
It did happen.
Yeah, it did, yeah. And millions of people have now crossed over into Portugal. Well, we're going to take none of yours, but do you know what? We're going to send some aid. Because the stats I've read is it's 100 times cheaper to look after somebody in a neighbouring country than it is to bring him to the UK and look after them. So every one person, asylum seeker, refugee, we bring here, we could have helped the same standard 100 in a neighbouring country where they fled to.
That's interesting.
So there's some cost benefits there.
Yeah.
So let's stop bringing them here. I want to help people, of course, when they're starving, fighting. I don't want people dying if they can help it. So let's do that. Let's stop bringing asylum seekers, refugees, illegal immigrants here. Anyone who comes here gets deported. Then we need to look at foreign-born British citizens in this country. And we need to look at them and we need to evaluate. I don't know what the matrix will be. I have to give a lot of thought. But one of the matrix will be, are you a criminal? So since you've been here, you weren't born here, but now you've married to an English woman or an English guy. You've got children here who are British citizens. You've got a British passport now. But you've been convicted of bank robbery. You've been convicted of rape. You've been all those British citizens who are foreign born, who have a criminal record, I would deport in the second month of my administration. All the illegals go first month, the second month, all them go. What we do after that is very hard to think, but it will evolve around, I've said this so many times before, it revolves around trying to build one nation. One nation, I feel like America then, one nation under God.
That's what Trump is doing, isn't it? That's all he's talking about.
Yeah, I want one nation in this country under one monarch. Because that's the soul of our nation, is the monarchy.
Yeah.
We may not like our monarch sometimes. We may think they're stupid, and the current one is. But we need one nation under one monarch. The monarchy is the story of the UK. That is our story. It's a living story of our traditions, our history. So we need...
And what's happening in America is effectively Trump is taking on a monarchical role, isn't he? He's effectively coming in as a king, isn't he?
That's what the president is. It's their monarch.
Yeah.
So that's going to take decades to do. And the simple things, I've said this before so many times. Picture the monarch in every school, in every council building. If any building is funded by government money, there's a picture of the monarch there. And also outside, a Union Jack flag.
Yeah, next to the litter bin where the children have to be forced to pick up the litter to tidy up. And
never let me forget that one.
No. I know what kind. I know what kind of monarch you'd be.
So that's the long-term plan. We've got to bring people together. I mean, you can still be a Christian, a Muslim, an atheist, still be gay. You can still be whatever you want to be. I don't care. But that's all private.
Yeah.
So, I don't want you ramming down, you're a Christian, down my throat when I'm out in public.
Yeah.
I don't want you ramming down my throat. Well, it's the wrong example now if you're gay.
If you're gay, yes.
So all these things need to change. They're your differences that you celebrate and practice in your family, with your community, But everything else, would I make it illegal? No. But I would make it a faux pas. I would make it socially unacceptable to support any foreign sports team apart from England, Ireland, Wales, Northern
That's a hard
Ireland
one.
and the UK.
Because you're not really that interested in sport, you don't realise what you're asking there.
No, but that's a spirit we need to break of the people in this country to make sure we're all under one flag, one nation.
But I think there's little...
I'm sure we can have second teams.
Yes.
Like, do you know what? There's lots of people who support Argentina. Not Argentina's a bad example, but they will support.
Are you
teams.
talking about national teams? Because I think on football teams, it's perfectly acceptable to support a foreign football team like Real Madrid or PSG.
Because most of the players are not even Spanish
Yeah,
anyway.
correct. Yeah.
I'm talking about national team. I'm
National
talking
teams,
about when England play India.
Yeah.
It should be socially unacceptable for someone living in this country to say, "Come on, India."
Yeah.
Not because it's against the law, because I don't want laws interfering in this, because then it's just becoming an authoritarian state. But it should be socially unacceptable.
And I agree with that. And when I was younger, I always supported England. But as we discussed in the recent Euros, because of all the crap messaging, race grifting, and everything else, I almost wasn't supporting England.
Well, I didn't support England.
Yeah.
I didn't.
But you've not done it since the knee thing, have you?
Yeah, but I didn't then go and support another team.
No, that's true.
Did you enjoy that video? I think you did. Come on now, hit that bell, subscribe, comment. Let's build this channel. I need more followers. I need more subscribers. Be part of the journey. See you soon.